from the studios of the Performance Motorsports Network, bringing you the fastest 60 minutes in racing. It's Burning Rubber Radio.
Burning rubber, baby.
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 Burning rubber, baby. Burning rubber, baby.
Now, here are your hosts.
I know what the prediction is. You don't even have to explain it. And here it is.
Burning rubber, baby.
Damn right. Burning rubber, baby. Woo! Hey, everybody. It's Andy DeLay. We are back for another week of Burning Rubber Radio. I'm sitting here along beside one ugly son of a gun, Dan Smith. Dirty Dan, how you doing, buddy?
Omaha. Oma, what the hell was that, my brother Peyton?
He got his ass whooped, buddy.
That was a good old-fashioned ass whooping, I will give you that. Hats off to those sea pigeons out there on the West Coast. Man, they executed a game plan, and they stuck with it, man. They stuck with it, but Peyton's still my man. But that's not what this show's about, Swami.
No.
It's about racing. Let's get it. What's going on tonight, brother?
Man, we got all kinds of stuff. Before we get going with that, I want to tell everyone we got a man. He's behind the board over there, and he is as ugly as us, but he looks like the Marlboro Man, Mr. Bob Steele. Buddy, how are you?
I'm just shaking my head. I don't know what is in. I think you guys got Red Bull in those adult beverages sitting over there. I'm not sure what you're using for mixers, but boy, you are pumped up, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
Red
man,
Bull,
we're
it's
good.
all about
We're
Red Bull.
What's that?
Yeah. It's all about the Red Bull.
Man.
Okay,
Red Bull
all right. Well,
moonshine,
I guessed it. I did guess it. Okay.
Hey, talking about moonshine and stuff like that here coming up very soon, we're going to be talking to Tim Smith, the guy from Moonshiners, and about all of his Climax moonshine. That'll be in the next few weeks. We got Charles Robinson, who's not with us tonight. He's stuck in an ice storm in Kentucky. Anyway, he'll be telling us all about Tim Smith and Steve Beam and all those folks he's got hooked up with over there. But tonight is what we're talking about. I almost said the N-word.
You almost did it. You almost did it. Our production room is finally coming to the
I'm going to say you're not supposed to use the term numbnuts around here, okay?
Yeah.
The boss is
Hey, listen, real quick, folks, let everyone know we've got, we got Norm Benning. He's going to be with us tonight. Bobby Dale Earnhardt. We're going to talk fishing, all kinds of good stuff with that. And who else do you got for the grassroots, buddy?
I got the original Risky Brisky, the Indiana legend himself, Kevin Briscoe, on the show tonight, brother.
That's right, folks. We're all jacked up. So, folks, get in. Tighten up them belts. Let's go burning rubber, baby. We'll be right back. Let's get this going, Dan.
Automotive enthusiast, have you modified your ride and want to see how much horsepower it'll put down? Look for bragging rights amongst your buddies, whether you're running big boost or a big block. RP Performance has your answer. Featuring a state-of-the-art two-wheel drive Dyno Dynamics chassis dyno, RP Performance can measure your current power or help tune your car for maximum power. And for you power junkies, want to drive a fully prepared race car flat out around one of the East Coast's finest road courses? RP Performance also offers race car rentals for all your track day events. Host your next corporate team building event with the need for speed. Gift certificates are available for dyno services and track car rental. RP Performance is located at Summit Point Raceway, just minutes from Winchester. Visit them online at rpperformanceracing.com or call 304-728-6749 for more information. RP Performance, your Mazda Street performance and racing specialist.
Ever higher, never quit. Lofty goals in this age of shoddy quality, corporate indifference, and built-in obsolescence. It's a beacon of light in a crowded field of mediocrity. The way a company is run is an indication of how you, the customer, is going to be treated. You have a lot of choices when you're searching for auto and performance parts online and at the corner parts store. So why should you buy from Excelsior Racing? Because they're simply the best online parts supplier in the business. If you're looking for selection, ease of ordering, cost, and prompt delivery, look no further. If you have a question, our customer service hotline, staffed by knowledgeable gearheads like you, will ensure that you get what you need to fix or mod your car or truck. With 1,000 suppliers, you're guaranteed to get what you need. First time, every time. Excelsior Racing. Excellence on the track. Excellence on the road. Excellence in customer service. Online at excelsiorracing.com or call 502-909-2034.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to the radio team that has no problem kissing your
Radio edit.
to get an interview.
Yeah, welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. Me and Dan are all jacked up here tonight. Bob Steele does not know what the heck's going on because we're like bouncing off the walls. But Dan, it's time for iRacing, buddy.
iRacing is the bomb auto. Thank you. I am forever in your debt for at least the next 12 months. But this super late model rocks, Swami.
Oh my gosh, you ain't kidding, folks. The new super late model that iRacing has released is, man, that thing is just like spot on. I don't know, but I've never drove a super late before, Dan. But it's pretty good. I know that we have Dr. Champ, who I've talked to him. He says the thing looks really cool.
It does. It looks really cool. I've got some a special paint scheme coming from my buddy Rich Foreman at One Vision Graphics for all my iRacing stuff. So be looking for those. But yeah, hey, real quick, a big shout out to Dr. Champ, Patrick Strapoli, our co-host, our buddy, our 2014 blacklisted feature driver. Man, he made the move to North Carolina. He's up there setting up the shop at Bill McAnally, racing for the K&N Pro Series East Coast operation. But that's not what we're talking about. Just big shout out to Patrick. But back to this iRacing. That super late model, man, it was worth the wait, and it's so much different than the late model that you always wreck me in, Swami, and send me over dirt hills and stuff. It's got the throttle response. It's awesome, man. I love it. It's pretty cool. Go ahead, buddy.
No, man, I was just totally taken away by the super late model. And folks, you guys that don't know about iRacing, if you're wondering, I'd like to try this. All you got to do is jump on the Burning Rubber Facebook page and say, I'd like to try this iRacing thing. If you're not a current iRacing member, we'll give you a 3-month trial. You go out there and have a good time, run these things around the track. Another thing I did this week, Dan, is I got in the Cadillac, brother, and raced out there. Came from 18th at Okayama and finished 6th. That's pretty good, huh? That
is pretty good, man. We had a hell of a Burning Rubber Radio iRacing League race at Oklahoma. I can't say it, but yeah, at that track one night in the Cadillacs, as I remember, man. The Cadillacs, I have a hard time driving the Cadillacs and getting a setup on them. They're a twitchy vehicle, man. But hey, I want to give another shout out to Tyler Hudson, the 2013 iRacing champ. He was going to join us on this segment tonight, but my man's working his butt off in some overtime and wasn't able to make it. But we're going to have him on a couple iRacing segments coming up here in the near future. But Swami.
Yeah. What, buddy? What?
I want to start practicing for the iRacing Indy 500. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea, man. We'll get out there and draft and do some stuff. I don't know much about Indy cars, but I mean, you're an open wheel guy, dirt, same thing, right?
You've never had the Indy car out on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway oval?
No, I can't say that I ever have, brother. I like driving them big old heavy taxi cabs around. I like that stuff. But I'll get out there and run Indy with you if you want.
I'll tell you what, man. We always talk about the seat of the pants feel and how it's not there. How I feel it's not there in the iRacing. That's not a dig. That's not a negative. It's just, from coming from a racer's perspective. But let me tell you something, Swami. The only track and the only car that I have found that make me pucker my asshole on iRacing is the Indy cars at on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway oval, man. That is serious butt munch freaking pucker time, dude. When you come out of 1 or 3 into the short chute, that wall gets scary, man. You got to try it. Bob, you need to get in on this too.
Well, yeah, I really do, but man, I don't need a pucker like that. I got an ex-wife that does that for me.
Swami, get us out of here, brother. Get us out of here, man.
All right, folks, and congratulations to Tyler Hudson too, because we got something next week. We're going to let him talk about a little bit of Michael Waltrip peak stuff. But folks, hang out because we got Brisky Kevin Briscoe. He's lined up next for us right here on Burning Rubber Radio. That's great.
If you're a gearhead, you probably go online to those hot rod superstores, drooling over the chrome and speed goodies until you find just the right item for your muscle car, tuner car, truck. But what do you do when it comes to fixing the mom mobile? If you're like most do-it-yourselfers, you head to the strip mall parts store and talk to the "Do you want fries with that?" kid behind the counter. Hold on, Bunky. Did Do you stop to think where those chain stores are getting the parts that you're installing in the vehicle that's used to transport your family everywhere? They get the cheapest suppliers they can find to sell you the parts at bargain prices. Their limited lifetime warranties? What a joke! Remember the last time Mom's car broke down? You heard about that one for weeks. Don't take that chance again. Excelsior Racing has the quality parts you need for your family vehicle. Parts that you can install knowing you're getting the best for your family. Excelsior Racing. Quality parts, personalized service, affordable pricing, fast to you direct. Excelsior Racing. Online at excelsiorracing.com or call 502-909-2034.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Ladies, become empowered with firearms training at Veritas Training Academy in Sarasota, Florida. Veritas will teach you what the bad guys don't want you to know. No prior firearms experience needed. Classes fill up quickly, so don't delay. 941-447-7089. That's 941-447-7089 for class dates and times. Veritas also offers firearm safety and concealed carry courses as well as private lessons to hone your firearm skills and provide you with all the information you need to stay compliant with the law. Veritas Training Academy, 941-447-7089. Or check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/trainveritas.
It's Burning Rubber Radio, an excuse for the hosts to get out of the house on the weekends without having to explain to their wives, husbands, and girlfriends what they're really doing. Now, here are your hosts.
Woo! Welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. I'm sorry, Bob. That sounds like a Volkswagen revving up and dumping the clutch. But anyway, I love it, man. Welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. We are ready to start talking to folks, Dan. We have Risky Brisky Kevin Briscoe lined up and on the phone with us, man. How you doing there, Kevin?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
We're all jacked up on Red Bull.
Swami, I promised that I wouldn't throw anything from left field out there on him. So, at any rate, Risky, my hero, my idol, you Indiana 410 sprint car legend. How you doing tonight, brother?
Doing well. Just hanging out, getting ready to go watch my daughter in her dance tonight. So,
I've been seeing the posts on Facebook. She's been nailing that stuff in the dance, doing really well in those competitions. You have to be proud, but I want to, as a parent, but I want to back up for a minute. We got a lot of rookie stripers out there in our listener land, but what is it, Kevin? What's your claim to fame, my man?
I don't have a claim to fame. I'm not famous.
You see, this is why I love the Briscoe clan. Kevin is Chase Briscoe's dad, and as you all know, we're following Chase Briscoe pretty tight here on Burning Rubber Radio. And Kevin's the original Risky Brisky, and he's an Indiana 410 sprint car legend. But as you can hear, he's pretty humble. So, Kevin, tell me about your career coming up and some of your accomplishments in that 410 sprint car.
And just basically started back in 1986 at 17 years old, and that was young back in the day in a sprint car. I never raced anything before sprint car and just jumped in. And my dad had owned cars since the mid-'70s, and I had some of the greats drive for him, like Jack Hewitt, Chuck Amati, Rich Vogler, Steve Butler, Randy Kinzer. I mean, Steve Kinzer, Dave Blaney, they've all drove for him in the past. So I stepped into a team that knew what they were doing and had success right off the bat, and raced sprint car for 22 years, running with and without the wing. Started my career with the wing for the first half, and then went non-wing the second half of my career.
Now, you were very successful in the sprint cars, Kevin, and you were a smart racer. You were, you never took more than the car would give, and you just raced very smart, but you raced very hard. But you parlayed that into a training ground of sorts at Bloomington Speedway here in Indiana for a while with a sprint car school, correct?
Yeah, in 1994 I started sprint car driving school. I just felt God asked me to open a driving school. I didn't know why. So I opened one and met a lot of great people, and through meeting all those great people, that's the reason my son's where he is today, those great people that I met through my driving school. I've helped him where he's at. So
that's a fact.
But,
We're
yeah.
going to talk about Chase. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and go there, Kevin. And I wrote an article under a pen name. I don't know. It's been 6-8 months ago, a year ago or so, under the pen name Maynard Thompson, about you, your dad Richard, and Chase, and things like that. And from a racer standpoint, you guys put Chase in the car at a very young age, and he excelled everyone's expectations with his talent level, getting the win and things like that. But tell me a little bit, and the fans out there a little bit, about what went into that thought process to give the seat up and put Risky Brisky Jr. in the seat.
Well, he begged ever since he was a young little boy, probably 5 years old, to drive a race car, and I tried to keep him from it, and he just kept begging and decided to buy him a quarter midget when he was 6 or 7. I can't remember exactly. Our race was racing at the same time, and we bought him a quarter midget, and he went his first time out, and he won the heat and won the feature and lapped everybody, I think, but second place. And I just was still wanting to race, so I seen that he could handle a quarter midget, and he basically was just wide open, so I thought he was just learning the flags more than anything. So I parked him, and he had to race twice and set out till he was 11, so he had a 4-year span there, and he just kept on me wanting to race. And our company, my dad's company, it was a manufactured housing dealership, it really slowed down, and our budget had really tightened up, but he just kept begging, and so we bought him a used 600 Micro Sprint. First time he ran in, he finished third, and the second time out, he won in it. And he probably won half of his races that he ran in a Micro Sprint in a 2-year span there from 11 to 13, and really knew he had the talent. But like I said, we were struggling money-wise, and the Micro Sprint, we could take him and he'd win. If he win, it was maybe $50 or $100, and it cost us $25 pit pass, the same to get in a sprint car race. And we had all of my old sprint car stuff just sitting there, and I told him, and I told my dad, I said, this is crazy. We can go race Perry and get him just laps in a sprint car for $500 to win and $100 to start. And so I said, if you can handle it, we'll take you up there and test. If you can handle it, we'll let you run it. He went up there and was really fast. So we put him in the sprint car at 13, and first night out he ran 9th. Second night out he ran 2nd, and he won before the end of the year, breaking Jeff Gordon's record to be the youngest driver to ever win a sprint car.
Wow.
So that's how he got his shot in sprint car.
Now, there's a lot of pictures, floating around on Facebook, and you guys allowed me into your inner circle in the 2012 race season, and we've been pretty close, ever since, and working with Chase and things like that behind the scenes, just being there to support him as a friend. But there's a bunch of pictures, and you mentioned it there when you were talking there about how intense he was, and you thought he was just watching the flags and ready to move on and things, just learning the basics. But did you see what a lot of people see in those pictures about how intense he was, how much he was really paying attention and absorbing and learning from you?
Not really, because I probably was so self-consumed in myself racing, that I didn't really notice that he was. But he did ask questions a lot, but it's just like when I started racing, I went with my dad every weekend. I paid attention, and I watched those greats drive my dad's cars, and I learned a lot, asked him a lot of questions, and I knew what I was going to expect basically before I even stepped in the car. And I think he grew up around it, so he knew what to expect and heard me talking all the time about throttle control and controlling your race car. And when he started, I made him be in control of the car and the car not control him. And he's always just went as hard as he can handle, and smooth as fast. And he's just so smooth, and that's the reason his stock car fits his style even more than sprint car, because he's just so smooth and can hit his marks and has great throttle control.
Chase and I was talking about that yesterday. I guess we need to put it out there. Chase has made the move down to North Carolina and is doing everything he can to continue his NASCAR career this season. A ride here, a ride there, whatever he can do. But we were talking. He called me, and we were talking on the phone during that trip down there. And he said just exactly what you did, Kevin. And I agree with both of you 100%. the way he drives and his style kind of leans towards the pavement stock car stuff about how smooth he is and his throttle control, his car control, his hitting the marks, his consistency. How important do you think that is for other young racers coming up? Is it more important to be fast, hammer down, or is it more important to learn things like that?
Well, it just depends on whether you want to spend a lot of money or you want to win races. If you want to spend a lot of money, you just go hammer down and be fast when it's tacky and only when it's tacky, and just wherever the car goes, I go. And you're going to be fast if you got money and have great motors. But if you want to win races, you better be able to be in control of that thing and be smooth and hit your marks. That's the difference between winners and not winners, you know. I mean, there's times when you got to be elbows up in anything you drive, but when you're elbows up, the guys that are good are still in control. But there's just so many young guys that are just stand on the gas, but the car's driving them more than they're driving the car.
Right. Now, I know Swami's over here jumping up and down in the studio, and I know he wants to talk to you about some things, but I got one last question for you before I turn it over to him, Kevin. Faith, it plays a big role in the Briscoe family life, and what you've done with Chase and your daughter is just, I mean, it's just awesome. The kids they're turning out to be and the adults they're growing up to be. But what part, let everybody out there know how faith plays into your daily life and your thought process and how important it is to you.
Well, faith is the most important thing in our lives. God's first, you know, and it's only through Him that we were able to do what we've done, and it's just that we leave it all in His hands. And so far, everything that's happened for Chase and me, it's been through God. And you know, we sometimes want it a lot more than what we have. It's just human nature, you know, but we've always said if it's there, we'll continue racing. If it's not, we won't. And so far, He's provided enough for us to be racing, or a way to race, not maybe the way we want to, because we've had to run used and wore out equipment, but it's always been enough, you know, and we just keep plugging away and we leave it in His hands. And I just want Chase to continue being a good young man. That's the most important thing, and so far he has been, and I just want him to be happy and do his best at whatever he does.
That's awesome stuff, Kevin. This is Andy. Real quick, we got about 2 minutes to go here. Old Dan, Dirty Dan over here told me that he got you into iRacing here, which is my thing. Tell us a little bit about it. What do you think of that iRacing?
It's an awesome deal. It's a great training ground for young drivers that want to drive a stock car, and it's just a lot of fun for a guy like me that used to race and doesn't want to get hurt anymore. You know, you can go in there and rub fenders and crash and hit the reset button and go again. But it's very realistic. A lot like real racing. Got to have throttle control. Got to be smooth. Got to take care of your tires. Just a lot of fun. I'm glad that I'm getting to do it.
Man, I'm so glad that you jumped on board with us on the iRacing.com bandwagon here. But hey, Kevin, real quick, man, we want to thank you for being on Burning Rubber Radio with us. I know you've heard the bunch of interviews we've had with your son, Chase. And guess what? Now it's your turn. You got to give us those 3 famous words just as loud and as proud as you can. That's burning rubber, baby. Can you do it for us?
Yeah. This is Kevin Briscoe, and this is Burning Rubber Radio.
Yeah, folks.
There we go.
Awesome stuff. Keep an eye on him and, of course, his son, Chase Briscoe, as he goes up there and tries to climb the ladder in NASCAR. But, folks, hang out with us. We're going to go say hi to our sponsors. Be back with Norm Benning after this.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue, shopping around for your racing gear, driving from store to store only to find they don't have what you want? Barter's Racing Collectibles on Black Gap Road in Fayetteville, Pennsylvania has it all. The hottest NASCAR, IRL, and NHRA diecasts, t-shirts, jackets, flags, and more. Everything racing. Stop by or check out their website, www.farnersracing.com, or call 717-352-2782. You'll be surprised at the selection, prices, and friendly client service. UPS, FedEx, and USPS shipping available. Farners Racing Collectibles, www.farnersracing.com, or call 717-352-2787. Farners Racing Collectibles, where racing comes alive.
You're listening to Burning Rubber Radio. Evidence that with enough money and a lot of BSing, almost anyone can have their own radio show. Now, back to Burning Rubber Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. Andy DeLay here, along beside Dirty Dan Smith and Mr. Bob Steele behind the board back there. Folks, we got somebody that's on our blacklisted list over here that Dirty Dan has, and we're following all year long. We have the guy that tore the truck up at Eldora, and everyone loved it. Who we got, Dan? Come on, I want to let you tell everybody.
Norm!
Norm Benning!
Yeah, everybody say it once. Good. How you doing? We're getting snowed on back here in Pittsburgh.
Well, you can handle that storm. You can handle that snow. I don't want any of it, but at any rate, man, you still working on that truck?
We're leaving tomorrow for Charlotte. I have a driver meeting at the R&D Center, and have to get some things certified. I got to be down there Wednesday, and then we're going to go do the pull-down rig with the truck, and then head for Daytona.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have it on the. You guys are getting serious, man. How's everything's lining up for this year? I mean, going into Daytona, anything different equipment-wise, or anything you want to tell us about the truck?
It's all the whole body's all new now. 2014, everybody had to do that. It's the same chassis I ran at Talladega and Daytona that ran real well, and we don't know what we have at this point because now, like I said, it's a whole new body. The truck's 4 inches narrower and 2 inches higher.
Yeah, and also they drug the spoiler in on the back end about 2 inches too. And so, did you get to go down and test this thing at all this year, or is it going to be like a total unknown for you?
Well, yeah, pretty much unknown because we weren't quite ready for the test, and NASCAR wasn't quite ready. They didn't have all the templates we needed, and so I didn't see any real reason in going down there.
Norm, what I'd like to know is we're following you because you're grassroots, man, just like we are here at Burning Rubber Radio. And you're the type of person in the team that we want to follow, we want to support. How does a privateer team like what you have right now, how does a privateer team go and scrap all of the bodies that you have on your trucks or the number of bodies you have and then rebuild for this year? I mean, that's got to be a huge expense.
Yeah, it's about $14,000 a truck.
Wow.
It's expensive, and they're trying to make us look more stock appearing. These trucks now look more stock than they've ever looked. The fenders aren't bowed out or anything. It's really a stock appearing truck.
Now, Norm, you mentioned that the trucks are back to stock appearing with the new noses and tail sections, and you and I have talked a lot off air about the changes and things that's going on in our private conversations. But there's something that I haven't had a chance to ask you about, and I think the fans out there would enjoy the answer to this. Have you had any feedback from the teams that was down there testing as to any changes in how the truck feels or the aero issues, passing, things like that?
Well, I've actually been involved with GM. They've helped me a little bit, and Dane has given me a lot of feedback. And the trucks are going to be faster because they're narrower, and
as far as in any big packs, nobody's really tried that yet, so nobody knows what they're going to do in a big pack. That's going to be interesting down there, because now they changed the qualifying procedure too, so we'll be going out in packs to qualify. So,
Norm, you just floored me, buddy. I knew it in private, and I knew it in our private conversations what was going on. For the blacklisted promotions page, and as Andy mentioned, that you're a 2014 featured racer over there. But you just mentioned something that we've had a lot of conversations about in private. But you just caught me off guard there, buddy. Make that announcement again. Who is that you're getting help from this year? Because that's huge news, man.
Well, GM, there's 4 Chevy teams that are getting some help, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
They were impressed with me last year a few different times, and so now they're giving me some help. I appreciate it.
Man, just don't show them that video of me and you on pit road at Homestead, man, or they might pull that deal. What do you got left to do in the shop before you get the truck and trailer packed up and start heading down to Daytona?
Well, we're just actually just starting to pack the trailer up, and the truck's ready to go. We're just trying to get our list put together so we don't forget anything. And because as they said, when I leave here, I'm not coming back. I'm going straight to Daytona, and I won't be back till the end of the month.
My God, that's
real nice.
That's a long time to be gone from home and everything. And when you get down to Daytona, what do we have? About 2 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. 2 weeks to Daytona, correct?
Yeah, the 21st is the race.
All right, so man, you're going to be out there basically blind with the setup. Your old setups, I guess, aren't going to transfer to this new body. Like you said, it's going to be faster. The arrow's going to be different on this thing. So you're going to basically be going out there kind of blind and guessing on your first setup, right?
Right. Yeah, everybody will. But it's Daytona. You run wide open no matter what. And you just don't know what the turbulence is going to do to you in the draft,
Well, this isn't the first dance for you either. You've been around a few years, and you've had different changes in body styles before, and NASCAR throwing their wrench in. My big question is, what do you think about this new qualifying thing?
You might want to ask me that in about a month after you see what happens. Right now, I don't. From what I was told, they're doing this to make it more entertaining for the fans, but you get a bunch of trucks out there trying to qualify in a pack. It's not going to be pretty.
No, it's not. I figure you're going to see the big one in qualifying, so to speak, right?
It's entirely possible, and I don't want to be a part of that.
No, who wants to be? I guess, at tracks like Daytona and Talladega, I can surely see that the qualifying records are going to be broken because drafting is going to be part of things now. But, well, just imagine when you guys get to Martinsville or Bristol, it's going to be a cluster.
Yeah, I hope they change it back. The racing's entertaining enough. The qualifying doesn't have to be a crash fest,
Yes. And that's what I'm worried about. But, you got a lot to focus on. You got to get a new truck ready. You got to get down there. You got to set it up for this new type of qualifying. And then you got to race a truck that you really don't have a setup for, but not just you. Everybody's in the same boat. Norm, we're looking forward to following you, not only through Daytona, but the rest of the year, man, because, like I said, you're grassroots just like Burning Rubber Radio.
I appreciate that. We'll have a good time at Daytona. Well, unfortunately, I'm locked into the race, so I don't really have to take any chances in qualifying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's huge.
So you have the advantage of basically laying back and not having to mess with all the kids up front. And I hate to say that, but there's going to be a lot of new blood out there, and trying to make P1, correct?
Yeah, it's the only way you're going to do that is to get tucked up tight in the draft, and it's bad enough in the race yet. For qualifying, there's going to be some problems because they aren't going to have any seat time doing that sort of thing, and they're going to end up taking themselves out of the race before they ever get in it.
Hey, Norm, we're getting there. We're getting to that time in the interview, but I got two questions for you, man. What's the paint scheme going to be on the truck this year? Can you tell me a little bit about it? Is it going to be the red with the yellow, or what do you got going on, man?
Yeah, it's going to be the red with the fluorescent yellow numbers, and it'll look good under the lights.
Yeah. You need to put some reflective on there so that 57 really sticks out. Who's going to be the sponsors on the truck this year, Norm? And I know you're working on some things that we can't talk about, but who's there right now?
Wyatt Truck Center's on the truck, and we have a construction company out of Texas that'll be on the hood. And we, as you said, we have some other things going on. They're definitely going to be on the truck.
Well, that's awesome stuff, Norm. I want to thank you very much for being with us on Burning Rubber Radio. We look forward to following you all season long. And, just great luck at Daytona. But, folks, hang out. We're going to be right back with more Burning Rubber Radio after this.
Hi, I'm Mickey for Bed Bug Detection Services. Bed Bug Detection Services rescues dogs from the Humane Society and the SPCA, then trains them at the Florida Canine Academy. We then pair them up with a handler where they will spend the rest of their lives in a happy family home working in the community. We want to rescue our second dog, but we cannot do it without your help. We are fundraising to bring home our next canine. Please go to bbds.us, that's bbds.us, and do your part in helping us rescue another dog. bbds.us will give life, home, and a meaning to another dog. bbds.us. With every donation, you will receive a signed postcard from our current bed bug detection dog rescue, Lily. Go to bbds.us. And thank you.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
No words exchange, no time to exchange when all the little lambs are marching.
Hello, this is Dave from the Dave Matthews Band for RAD. When you go out and party, get drunk, then drive, you're not only loaded, you're a loaded weapon. When you celebrate, designate. Choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives and so should you.
What you say.
Media sales professionals with agency experience. If you're frustrated with your current position, unrealistic quotas, and inept management, if you're a sales machine and you simply will not take no as an acceptable reply, if you're looking for a rapidly growing company with unlimited sales potential for commissions in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you're searching for a high-tech, forward-looking, laid-back, but extremely professional organization who appreciate your skills and dedication, we have your next opportunity. Scorpion Radio Group is building a sales team of self-starters who are motivated. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444 or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. That's 717-749-0444 and ask for Sue.
Green, green, green! What's with all the green? Nothing but green. What's wrong with pastels and power colors? This is just wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Now back to the most diverse racing show. Scratch that. The most politically incorrect racing radio show on the internet today. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Burning Rubber Radio.
Yeah, you got that right. Politically incorrect. And I'm sitting here with Dan Smith. That's a statement, folks. Welcome back. I'm Andy DeLay along beside Dan, Dirty Dan Smith, and Mr. Bob Steele back there. Folks, it's time for the round table, and I could probably talk an hour on this stuff here real quick. But first things first, coming out the door, and Dan, I bet you it's different than what you thought I was going to start with. Jeb Burton is what I want to talk about first. Talking about somebody taking it in a pooper there. The poor kid's ready to go, race his sophomore season, and his sponsor defaults. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I'm going to have our buddy, old F.U. Floyd Updegrove over there on the NASCAR Has Issues page. I'm going to have to kind of side with him and throw a couple of his comments out there because I agree with it. This team was not a buy-a-ride team when it was Braun. And, James Busher was there, and I think we're starting to see, son-in-law or no son-in-law, why he got out of there pretty quick. And to me, I think you've seen it. I think you see what that team is, and it's not a big secret. It's a buy-a-ride type thing, deal nowadays, up at that level, So I don't like it. I don't like it because Jeb is loaded with talent. And, the kid needs to be in a seat, not because he's Ward Burton's son, but because he deserves it. He is a very talented kid, but that's pretty much my stance on it. How about you, Battle and Bob?
I think anytime you lose sponsorship, it creates a crisis. And the crisis is a funding crisis. The crisis is a are we worth it crisis. The team has to look inside to see if there's any way they can pull anything together. And this is crisis time for these guys, particularly at on February 3rd. I mean, it's just a disaster to lose sponsorship at this stage of the game.
You know, I just got one more thing to say. Bob kind of opened it up. I'm sorry, Swami, but I've got just one more to say, you know, where he opened it up. And I want to throw this to you. This is kind of a segue and on this, but, you know, what do you guys think about, you know, is there a bigger meaning? Should we be looking a little closer at how deep in the barrel teams are having to go for sponsorship at that level now? You know, I don't want to get into what's going on with that company because I honestly don't know, but you understand what I'm trying to get at?
It's bang for the buck. It's
more
return on investment, Dan. And if the companies aren't seeing that ROI, then they're going to get out of it. They'll get into some other type of advertising. They'll advertise on TV or on radio. And this is where it's up to the teams and the drivers and the PR people to make sure, and I'm not saying that there's a problem here, so please don't take this wrong, but if you're a team member, if you're a driver, if you're a team owner, make sure your sponsors and your marketing partners get that ROI, because if they don't, they're going to be gone, and like this particular situation, you're going to be up the creek without paddle.
And that's to say something. Yeah, something here. Also, I want to let everyone know, got a lot of grassroots folks out there watching some stuff, and I know Dan was on this XAN TV or something like this. I'm going to be out at East Bay Raceway, going to watch the Lucas Oil late models. I'm going to be covering that, hopefully, if they say that I'm worthy of their media credentials for the Performance Motorsports Network and Burning Rubber Radio, so that ought to be pretty cool. We got that coming up. And then, of course, everybody's talking about the new Chase stuff. We got the new Chase format, which I like. I think I'm the only person in the world that likes it. And, of course, we have the new qualifying deal that's going on. We just talked with Norm Benning about, which I'm not a big fan of. And I'll go to you, Bob, real quick. What do you think about the new Chase?
The new Chase is, they're trying to make this interesting, and I'm not a big fan. I think, personally, that racing should be based on wins. You shouldn't be racing for points, although we have to in today's, the way we run NASCAR. But I'm more interested in your other question, actually, and that is the qualifying. Every other sanctioning body, with the exception of the NHRA and drag racing, qualifies in mass. Sports Car Club of America, Grand Am, the new Tudor Series, IndyCar, all of the other series qualify in mass. So this is really not that far out of the realm of what happens in racing in general. However, it's different for NASCAR, and that's what's causing the buzz. Whether it I don't see people doing a big pack drafting. I see maybe a couple of cars getting together, but that's only going to help one car. That's not going to help the guy in third place or the guy up front. It's going to help the guy in that slingshot position, and the rest of them are going to kind of go down the water. So I doubt we're going to see that much drafting in qualifying this time around.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. What about you, Dan?
I'm going to try to be as short and simple as sweet with this because we don't have the time for my answer. But change to change, we know that, it's obvious that it's all about the TV contract and it's all about the TV broadcast with NASCAR. They could care less about the live shows. And, please don't attach an extreme label to what I just said.
No, that's you're very true. This is all about TV coverage and making things more interesting for the fan. The change for the chase and the change to qualifying.
That is exactly right. But here's what I've got to say about it. The marketing gimmicks need to stop because I'm telling you, even the junior nation is up in arms over this last change. And let me tell you something. This could all be fixed. The TV broadcast, the excitement, and everything else without all these silly marketing gimmicks with three simple things. Less aero, softer tires, more horsepower. That would create a Game 7 moment every lap of every race, every week. Put the cars back in the driver's hands. If you have the loud pedal mashed through the firewall, then you got your elbows up and you're doing some work. We should not see cars just running flat out in this series. That's not what the fans want, and that doesn't create excitement. NASCAR, please get your head out of your ass and realize it's the product, not the points, that's the problem. Other than that, Swami, XAN TV rocks.
Yeah.
You know, and USAC Unleashed. Everybody go check it out. Swami, get us out of here.
That's right, folks. Yeah, that was a great roundtable, Dan. You're killing me tonight. I'm loving this. Folks, right now we're going to get over here and talk to the NASCAR chef, John Dix. John Dix is with us, going to give us something good to eat. How you doing tonight, John?
Hey, guys. Burning rubber, baby.
Burning rubber, baby.
Man, I have to agree with what Dan just said. That he hit the nail on the head.
What? What? People agree with what I just said?
Somebody agree
John,
with Dan?
you're going to
Oh, my
get
God.
hate mail, man. You're going to get hate mail.
Well, I tell you what, he's right, because they got to put the race back in the racing. Anyways, guys, we have a good recipe for tonight. We're going to do something a little different. It's still cold, so we're going to do a crock pot cream cheese chicken chili.
Oh, yeah, I got the munchies, man, so this sounds good, John. Give it to us, brother.
Okay, guys, we're going to start with 1 can of black beans, 1 can of corn, 1 can of Rotel. I like the medium, which is really good. 1 package of ranch dressing mix, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 8 ounces of cream cheese, and 2 big chicken breasts. And you want to get those either frozen or thawed. It don't matter, because you're going to put them in the bottom of the crock pot now, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to drain and rinse the black beans, and you're going to pour the beans, the corn, the Rotel, all on top of the chicken. Okay, and then you're going to season it with the ranch dressing. You stir it all together, then place the cream cheese on top, cover the lid, and cook it for 6 to 8 hours on medium now. And then you want to stir the cream cheese into the chili every once in a while. Use 2 forks to shred the chicken once it's done after about 6 to 8 hours. Stir together and serve. And I tell you what, if Bob and Andy and I and Dan ever get there, that's going to be it for the food, because it's going to go.
It's gonna
Man, you had me sold on the cream cheese, buddy. I'm ready. I'm down with it, brother.
Oh, Dan's fired up. Let me tell you one thing there. John, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that maybe sometime this week you'll have that up on the Facebook page for Burning Rubber Radio if you guys didn't get a chance to write that down. Because, John, try it, because I want to try that to cook that recipe, my friend.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'll have it up there. Don't worry about it, buddy.
All right, man. Folks, that's John Dixon, NASCAR chef. Any questions for him or us, you can always drop a line to burning.rubber@hotmail.com. But right now, we got to get the heck out of here, and I got to calm Dan down, because we're going to talk to Bobby Dale Earnhardt right up next.
Hi, I'm Mickey for Bed Bug Detection Services. Bed Bug Detection Services rescues dogs from the Humane Society and the SPCA, then trains them at the Florida Canine Academy. We then pair them up with a handler, where they will spend the rest of their lives in a happy family home working in the community. We want to rescue our second dog, but we cannot do it without your help. We are fundraising to bring home our next canine. Please go to bbds.us, that's bbds.us, and do your part in helping us rescue another dog. bbds.us will give life, home, and a meaning to another dog. bbds.us. With every donation, you will receive a signed postcard from our current bed bug detection dog rescue, Lily. Go to bbds.us. And thank you.
Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC is your Lexington, Kentucky and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority. From pre-owned to the newest models, Tincher Williams is the only place to shop in the Lexington area. Check out their website for your next new or pre-owned vehicle, www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. All of the full-line inventory of in-stock and on-order Buicks, GMC trucks, and Chevrolets are right there online. Plus, you can check out what's hot at Tincher Williams on the homepage. Schedule your service appointment, browse the inventory, look for Tincher Williams specials, check out your financing options, see what GM incentives are being offered for your vehicle. You can even shop for new tires at their convenient online tire store and get directions from wherever you are right there. It's all online at www.tincherwilliamschevrolet.com. That's Tincher Williams Chevrolet Buick GMC, located in London, Kentucky, your Lexington and Corbin Chevy Buick and GMC authority.
guns, gas, and girls. It's Burning Rubber, baby. Now back to the show.
Burning rubber, baby. Burning rubber, baby. What we got going on, Swami?
Woo! Talking about guns and gas. Dan's got plenty of the gas into that, folks. Welcome back to Burning Rubber Radio. Andy DeLay along beside B-side Dirty Dan Smith and, of course, Bob Steele behind the board. We got a good buddy of mine on the phone right here. Somebody that that I personally just can't wait till he gets into a race car again coming up soon. We got Bobby Dale Earnhardt on the line with us. How you doing, Bobby Dale?
I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all?
Buddy, I'm sitting here with Dan Smith, and he's all jacked up on Red Bull. So, man, we're like bouncing off the ceilings and everything in here tonight. Need you to mellow us out something.
I hear you. Yeah, hey, at least that's better than being jacked up on Mountain Dew, I guess.
You got it, Bobby. You got it, brother. I love you, man. I love you. What the hell you been up to, brother? What you got going on, man?
Oh, not too much. Just trying to get through this winter. Been having a couple bad snowstorms up here, so that I'm not used to.
Yeah, really. You're still stuck out there in the wilds of West Virginia?
Yeah, for now. I'm planning on moving back to North Carolina here in a couple of weeks, so I've been doing a lot of packing and getting stuff together.
Yep. Get back down to North Carolina. Now, Bobby Dale told me the other night, folks, that there was another internet radio show or another radio show that had him on and said that they was talking to him about fishing. You know what, Bobby Dale? That's one thing I ain't got to talk to you about here live on the air, and I'm gonna follow up on what they started. Tell us, what do you like to do other than drive a race car, buddy?
Oh, I love to fish and hunt, of course. Hang out with some buddies and had bonfires and stuff like that. Just same thing everybody else loves to do.
Yeah.
Let's see, I love to cook, so I do that as much as I possibly can. And let's see, what else? Four-wheeling, of course.
Yeah.
Can't forget that.
You're a bachelor guy still, man. When I was your age, my cooking consisted of out there cooking some macaroni and cheese and maybe a can of peas to go with it or something.
Yeah, well, mine's a little bit more in depth than that. I'll throw some crazy stuff together, and somehow it ends up turning out pretty dang good.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good stuff. And of course, if anyone don't know, and you're just following Burning Rubber Radio this season, Bobby Dale Earnhardt is Dale Sr.'s first grandson, the son of Carrie Earnhardt. And man, last year, of course, you were rocking it. You ran in the ARCA Truck Series and was Rookie of the Year, man. Are you still floating on that? Are you still high over it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it'll be a while before I come off that. I actually have my trophies sitting right here in front of me, so reminds me every day. Plus, I got a Rookie of the Year ring, so
wow.
I wear it every day.
I got a question for you, Bobby. You still got that dirt late model, man? Because Dirty Dan needs a ride. I need a thrill. I need to get out in the car. You still got that thing where you put me in the seat?
Actually, yeah, I think my car owner does. So you have to probably talk to him about that.
That's wonderful stuff.
I can't get any love from you, Bobby. You can't put in a good word for me, buddy?
I put in a good word for you. You just have to talk to him. I don't know. I think he cherishes that car a little too much to just put anybody in it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. You don't want to put Dirty Dan in it out there. My Lord, he'd wreck the thing in the first lap. But anyway,
no. Now, Swami, I've got the trophies and the Rookies of the Year to prove I can do the work on the track. What do you got in that Slammer series, my man? But that's not what it's about. Get back to Bobby Dale.
Oh, listen, hey, Bobby Dale, we got to get out of here, brother. We just wanted to check in with you, my friend, and we're going to keep checking with you all year long and see how things go on your trip to Charlotte. But you can't get out of here without those three famous words. You know that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And anybody wanting to follow me in my racing career, I got to tell you, follow me on Facebook. It's search Bobby Dale Earnhardt and like my fan page, and I keep everybody posted on there. And my website is www.bobbydaleearnhardt.com. But, yeah, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Burning Rubber, baby.
Yeah, that's right, Burning Rubber, baby. Folks, that is Bobby Dale Earnhardt. He is the man, and we will be back with Burning Rubber Radio right after this.
Shopping around for your racing gear, driving from store to store only to find they don't have what you want? Barter's Racing Collectibles on Black Gap Road in Fayetteville, Pennsylvania has it all. The hottest NASCAR, IRL, and NHRA diecasts, t-shirts, jackets, flags, and more. Everything racing. Stop by or check out their website, www.partnersracing.com, or call 717-352-2782. You'll be surprised at the selection, prices, and friendly client service. UPS, FedEx, and USPS shipping available. Farners Racing Collectibles, www.farnersracing.com, or call 717-352-2787. Farners Racing Collectibles, where racing comes alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your wait is over. Finally, hot rodding has come home to the hub of motorsports, Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm Redline Ryan.
And I'm the Tasman.
And we are Cruise Control Extreme. Cruise Control Extreme, Fridays at 7:30. Go to cruisecontroltv.com for a channel near you. Cruise Control Extreme, Charlotte's original hot rod show.
Hi, I'm Mickey for Bed Bug Detection Services. Bed Bug Detection Services rescues dogs from the Humane Society and the SPCA, then trains them at the Florida Canine Academy. We then pair them up with a handler, where they will spend the rest of their lives in a happy family home working in the community. We want to rescue our second dog, but we cannot do it without your help. We are fundraising to bring home our next canine. Please go to bbds.us, that's bbds.us, and do your part in helping us rescue another dog. bbds.us will give life, home, and a meaning to another dog. bbds.us. With every donation, you will receive a signed postcard from our current bed bug detection dog rescue, Lily. Go to bbds.us. And thank you.
Green, green, green. Pedal to the metal, baby.
Let's get back to Burning Rubber Radio.
Woo! We're back to Burning Rubber Radio. We're having a great time here. Andy DeLay along beside Dirty Dan Smith and Bob Steele. Folks, we've had a great show tonight. And Dan, man, you need to come back in here all jacked up like this again next week.
Hey. No. I'm being censored again. That seems to be happening a lot on the social media world. Now our producer Bob Steele's doing it.
No. I don't want him quite as wired. Get him about half as wired. Then we can present some of the comments that he's writing on the chat board here.
Man, hey, you two shut up for a minute, man. I've got some shameless self-promotion I want to get out there.
Let's go with it, man. I've been waiting for it. Let's hear it, Dan.
Go for it.
We got Battle and Bob Steele there, and Rich Foreman and I have a hell of a project that we just launched on Saturday. It is called USAC Unleashed Radio. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter. The website should be up before our first show airs on February 19th. But like I said, we just done a pre-launch on Saturday. It's exceeding all of our expectations. We have our guest lineups for the first show set. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be cool. Please, Burning Rubber Radio Nation, support this project. Get out, get the information. But Swami, there goes Bob again trying to shut me up.
That's right. We got to get out of here, folks. We'll catch you next week right here. Same time, same place on Burning Rubber, baby. Woo!
Burning Rubber Radio is a copyrighted production of the PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com, a division of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated. This program may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/burning-rubber-radio, or go to the PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com website and look for our landing page there. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or the Scorpion Radio Group, or those of our advertisers and marketing partners. Be listening next week as we munch through 4 or 5 large pieces, half the salad bar, and at least a case of chilled adult beverages.
Hey there!
Huh?
What about the guests and the
motorsports coverage and all the other cool stuff they do.
Oh, yeah, well.
Now, come on now.
And they do one hell of a show.
Okay.
For Burning Rubber Radio, I'm Cougar Michael.
Burning rubber, baby!